I mean, this is the type of stuff that gives boxing a very bad name. Oscar Valdez gets a statue made after a controversial win in his hometown. That's what we doing? Stay tuned. And still the undefeated Boxingego. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. I need you guys to throw a like on the video if you enjoy the content after you watch it and consume it. Subscribe to the channel. We're gonna have some fun with this boxing. Now, this is just sad. This is the sad thing about the beautiful sport, the sweet science that I happen to cover and love dearly. When you have things like this that happen, and it's almost the presence of like evil prevailing in a sport that we all love dearly. If you found this video, you're probably in search, or you were interested in the metadata and the title, things like that. Oscar Valdez fought on a Friday in his adopted home of Tucson, Arizona. I don't think he looked particularly good. He had a lot on his mind because he tested positive. He failed under VADA rules that he later came out and said that he requested VADA, but at the end of the day, it has tore up his imagery because he failed and tested positive for phentermine, right? He can't explain how it got in his body. Take a listen.
Oscar, you tested positive for phentermine, a stimulant prohibited by the Voluntary Anti-Doping Association. You don't have a prescription, do you?
No, I don't have no prescription.
How did it happen?
What I can say is that I'm a 100% clean fighter. I don't know how that got into my body. I know every fighter is responsible for whatever they consume. But on behalf of myself, I have no clear answer how that got into my body. I've always been and I will always be a clean fighter, so I have no serious question on how that got into my body.
So as you can tell and hear from listening back to that, that wasn't particularly a good look because he failed and he didn't really have much answers, or he couldn't put people's minds at rest that believe he cheated and did something underhanded, right? And now he's been rewarded, come to find out, with a statue. So let me pull it up. In his hometown, I guess they made a statue for him, and they unveiled it. They unveiled, you guys see it right there. They unveiled a statue, like a whole statue in his hometown of Nopales in Mexico. I mean, this is literally insane. This is literally insane. I personally haven't seen anything like this. There's a picture. There's a picture, and he's putting the shush, or whoever posted this on Top Rank, they putting shush like we all supposed to be shushing. You see that? And they got a statue back there. So an honorary statue, and he's been immortalized with that. I mean, this is insane. I have never seen anything quite so messy and sloppy in at least a very long time in boxing. What I feel about this shows me that Robson had no chance. He had no chance, people. Let's just be real. He had no chance to survive. He had no chance. The only thing, and see, this is sad because it puts such a black eye and a stain on boxing, because when the powers that be, networks and, you know, the political factors and sanctioning bodies and teams or whatever, when they supersede what's right for boxing, I feel like that's when it becomes dangerous, and that's when it stains what we're trying to do and see and build in the sport of boxing. for so many different reasons, this is crazy. Now, Robson Conceição seen this and he started laughing. He was in the comments section and he just started laughing. I don't know if I could pull up the comments. There it is. Hold on, let me pull up the comment for you. I think I could. It says, "You fake champion." You, he called him a fake champion. All right, I pulled it up for you guys. So this is the statue unveiling, and you see Robson Conceição. He just put the laugh emoji. He just laughing because he knows he really won the fight. He says, "Fake champion don't deserve a bad one. Give me a new fight and he'll get even more of a beating than I've already given him." Y'all see that? So he called him a fake champion. I mean, this is just sad. Like, how do you get rewarded? This reminds me of kind of like the Tyson Fury statue that they did in the UK. You have Tyson Fury fans who say that Wilder is no good and Wilder is not a talented fighter. You hear this type of talk, but at the end of the day, why would you make and immortalize Wilder in the form of a statue with Tyson Fury standing over his body if it wasn't a real accomplishment? So the same thing with Oscar Valdez. I mean, his situation is a little different. A lot of people thought he won via robbery. This is the scorecard. I mean, it just goes without saying, people. This is the scorecard. I have it pulled up for you. And at the end of the day, Oscar Valdez was outlanded in every single round out of 12. It was a 12-round fight. In 11 of those rounds, he was outlanded. And in the only round where he wasn't outlanded, they both landed 7. So to me, these scorecards that were turned in were outlandish. Speaking of outlandish, Stephen Blair, who works with the WBC and is appointed by WBC, I was the first to make a video about this. He was forced to apologize and had to come out with a public statement, as you guys see on the screen, because he received so much ridicule for what he produced in the form of a scorecard. So, I mean, it's crazy. Like, me personally, I've never said prior to the failing of the test, I never really thought of Oscar Valdez, other than when he was fighting. I think he was a solid fighter and things like that, but this just sets a bad standard for the sport of boxing. You have something banned in your system. You tested positive. You never really said sorry. Ignorance to the rule is no exception to the rule. Just ignorance is bliss. If you're driving on the freeway and it's 65 miles per hour in California and CHP clocks you driving 97 miles per hour, they're going to pull you over. You will get a ticket. And you can't say, "Oh, I just didn't know. I didn't see a speed limit sign." You got to know the rules, and you got to drive at a safe speed and things like that. So you can't just say, "Oh, I don't know. I didn't see a speed limit sign." I mean, you're still going to get a ticket. But only in boxing do you see this type of stuff. They wanted Oscar Valdez to win so bad. And the thing that's crazy is now that, I'm not a statue expert, but I would want to say that to build a statue, it probably requires some level of effort that look like, almost life size and things like that. So I really have to say that Robson Conceição, he was just brought in to lose. He was brought in as a guinea pig. He was brought in with no chance because, again, I'm not a statue expert, but I would say there's some man hours and some labor needed to produce a bronze statue or whatever that was in Mexico. So you mean to tell me they waited to the outcome and then did it? And even still, even if that is the case, which I doubt, why? You know, when a lot of people thought, including legends from Mexico, like Eric Morales, he said he didn't have Robson Conceição winning. He said this is just a bad look. And David Fetelson from Mexico and ESPN Deportes. You know what I mean? So it's sad that I get, you know, having someone from your hometown or whatever, but I wouldn't. I'm just telling you who I am as an individual. I wouldn't even want no statue of me off of that performance. I really wouldn't. I wouldn't want no belt off of me off of that performance, because deep down inside, I would honestly feel and know that I didn't win it and I didn't deserve it. So that wouldn't sit well with me and my character and who I am. And you got the guy who lost and now has a blemish on his record, and he up here laughing at you because the whole world knows that you didn't really win that fight for real. Look at the status of his face. You can see these pictures that I've presented so nicely for you guys. You see his face look tattered up, it looked beat up, it looked cut up, and I just showed you the actual scorecard. So it's like, on what account did he win? All the scorecard data favor Robson Conceição. He was more than doubled or doubled at least in 11 of the 12 rounds. He landed more, threw more. So that shows he's busier, and he's also in general more accurate and landing the higher connect percentage of jabs and power shots and things like that. And then, so you lose that battle, easy work. And then if you're looking at things like his face and, you know, how he looked and stuff, I mean, he's losing that battle as well, because that's his face after the fight. Robson Conceição didn't look like that. So on what accord did Oscar Valdez win to the point where he deserves a statue? So again, that's cool. They're honoring you, but me personally, I wouldn't want no statue. He doesn't even look confident in these post-fight pictures. He looks like he knows what's up. So, I mean, imagine if you had like the Lakers won the finals and they know they cheated or they won in a robbery fashion because the referee call screwed over the other team in the last minute, and then they won by default. I mean, how fun is that parade? How much do you really truly want to celebrate? So to me, it's a bad look for old media, Team Valdez, Canelo team. It just doesn't look right. And I think it's going to be hard for me to even want to support or watch Oscar Valdez's next fight if it's not Robson Conceição, because they did all this to this man. They already had pre-made statues. It's just a bad look. So if he's not going to play by the rules, by staying clean and things like that, I feel the very least they can do is give him a rematch, because the rightful person doesn't have the belt. So at least give him a shot at it. And if he doesn't, then I think that's going to be another nail in the coffin for Oscar Valdez. It's always going to have this asterisk. You know, it's just like Lomachenko. And it's funny because old media, certain fighters get this privilege where Lomachenko can lose to Salido and never have to rematch him. Gary Russell called out Lomachenko several times. He never has to rematch him in old media's mind. So I think Oscar Valdez, to kind of get over this hump, he wants to stay clean and rematch Robson Conceição and beat him decisively to try to get some credit back that you lost with all this. Because at the end of the day, the boy Robson Conceição is going in. Just look at the face. Does this look like the person? This is the person they're saying lost, right? That's his reaction post-fight, and he lost. But in his mind, he knows he won. This is the person they told you won. Does he look happy? So he's wearing the strap. He's kept his strap. He had a hometown fight. It's his hometown crowd. Does he look like he's happy with his performance? They say a picture says 1,000 words. I'm out. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, deuce. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TUBEBUDDY. I've used TUBEBUDDY for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TUBEBUDDY is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TUBEBUDDY and level up your channel faster.